good morning, it's Hope. Welcome to this episode of Bookfluenced, where I read books strictly because somebody raved about them and I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. And today we are going to read Babel because Jess Owens, who I thoroughly enjoy watching on YouTube, just raved about this book. Last year at some point. And then I know that it was on a lot of people's best of 2022s. And I managed to get my hands on it from the library. It is, 550 pages or so? The font is, it's pretty small, but I'm going to see how much I can get read today and tomorrow because I'm not going to have a ton of time on the weekend. It is currently Wednesday. It's not even 9 o'clock in the morning yet. But yes, that is the plan. This video is going to be a reading vlog of this lovely big book. And I am looking forward to it. There's been a lot of hype around it, so my expectations are that it's going to be good. But I haven't read the synopsis. I have no idea what it's about, and I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to go into it blind, and if I get kerfuddled about something, then I will read the synopsis and try to find out if I'm missing something important that was said in the synopsis. How many times can I say the word synopsis in the first 2 minutes of this video? Anyways, I don't have a ton of plans for today. I'm gonna have my coffee. I think I'm gonna make dinner at some point. Like I said, it's still very early in the morning, so that's not for a while. Maybe I'll go to the gym. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, just come along with me as I read this book, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, it's a little while later. I had my coffee, had my breakfast, watched a hockey game from last night. My team lost, unfortunate, but they're in the playoffs, so it's fine. And read the first 28 pages of this book. I think this could be good. I'm very, very smally into it. I'm only a very small way into it, but so far I'm enjoying the writing. It's quite descriptive, not flowery descriptive, but it evokes emotion, and I like that in a book. And I think the main character could be a really interesting person. I am curious as to whether or not he ages up in this book, or if it kind of stays in the same age bracket that he's already in. So that will be fun to figure out. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna make myself go. It'll get me out of the house for a little bit. I have been living on allergy medication the last couple of days, and I can feel it right now. I already took some, but I just think I need to get out of the house, get outside for a bit, even though outside is not the greatest spot for me, but I mean, it's just a walk. My gym, obviously I'm working out inside. That's a total story that nobody needs to know. Anyways, gonna go to the gym. It'll be a quick workout. I'll probably do half an hour on the bike or so. I come home, get ready, maybe do my hair, straighten my hair because it's a mess right now, and then do some more reading. But I think that's the plan. So I will see you when I get back and potentially look a little bit more put together. We'll see. Okay, back from the gym. Had a really quick lunch because I was so hungry when I got home, and which means I'm gonna be hungry again in like 2 hours because I ate lunch so early. I read a tiny little bit more of my book. Turns out question 1 is answered. He does age up. He's now on his way to Oxford, and it's been 6 years or something since he was taken as a kid from Canton. Anyways, so that's cool. But before I move on, I want to go have a shower because it's freezing in here right now. Turn on the heat and kind of put myself together for the day. Let's do that. So it's the next day. And I'm going to do everything in my power to finish this, but I'm not sure I'm going to get to it. I am just under halfway. And I have thoughts. They're not the most eloquent of thoughts, but here they are. I am enjoying this book, but I am not loving this book. And I think for me, part of it is just, it's very wordy. And I get it. The whole premise of this book is it's translation, it's about words, but it's much heavier than I think I expected it to be, or even am really in the mood for. And I think that I need to take that into consideration, is just how what my reading mood is right now. And I'm reading this because it's due back in the library in 4 days, and I did really want to read it. I do want to read it, but I don't know that it's a book that I would have picked up in this moment in time if it weren't for, library circumstances. So I'm trying to keep that in when I think about my thoughts on this book. It's good. I really like the story of the book. I enjoy the premise of the book. I feel like there are times it's reminding me in a really weird way, and not in storyline at all, but to my thoughts on Burnham Wood, where you get to these moments sometimes and it's almost like the character is monologuing, like the author really wants to get this point across, and so the character is talking in these massive paragraphs that you get why it's there, but it's a little heavy-handed in its execution, and that is something that is putting me off a little bit in really getting into the story. I'm also really hoping that some action picks up a little bit, because right now I can't imagine that the pace of the story that I'm getting right now, I can't imagine I will enjoy for another 250 pages. I think I will get very bored. And so I'm hoping that, and I'm assuming that something is going to happen that really starts to drive this story forward, which I think it needs. I think it's starting to lag a little bit, but that's just me. But it does have some really poignant one-liners, and it's obviously a very interesting and critical topic that is talking about the whole colonization and what that does, and it's very important, and I like that she's put it into this really interesting fictionalized world. I'm not being drawn in the way I would want to be drawn into a story, but like I said, I think part of that is just me right now. However, I understand why people would really like it. I wish I was one of those people that was raving about it, because I'm definitely in the mood for, one of like an all-time favorite book, and I haven't had many this year, and I don't think that this is going to be one of them, but who knows? Like I said, I'm just under, like, I have more than half of the book to read still. I'm on page 236, and it's 540 pages or something about that, so I'm getting there, but that is this book so far. We'll see how much I can get done today. I have about 4 hours of uninterrupted time coming my way, and we'll see how much I can do in that 4 hours, whether or not I can even dedicate myself to that, because it's a lot of reading time, and I've already read for most of the morning. But that's the goal. The goal is to try to get this book done, because as I said in an earlier clip, I don't know that I'm going to have a lot of time this weekend, and I only have this book for another 4 days. So we shall see what happens. But that is the update so far on said book. And I will see you when I have more to say. We're on to book 4. Book 4 of, how many books are there? 5 or 6? Doesn't matter. And the action is picking up, which I'm very excited about. We shall see where it goes. I don't actually have any idea what direction the story is taking right now, and that's pretty cool. But I would say the last 50 pages or so has definitely gotten pretty interesting, and I am very curious. And I am now, I've got about 200 pages left to go. Yeah, about 200 pages, so we'll see how much more I can get done, but positive steps. Very, very excited about it. This is a super quick little thing. I just read page 409, and I am unimpressed. That is all. I finished it. So excited. Got it done by 4 p.m. I power read today. Very proud. This book. So this book follows Robin and 3 colleagues, students, people he works closely with in the program he's at. Their names are Rami, Victor, and Letty. So it's about the 4 of them, but except for 3 other chapters, you're essentially just getting Robin's point of view. And he is taken from his homeland in Canton, when he is a child, and he's brought up by this white professor. And he's put into this program at Oxford in a tower called Babel, whichever way you want to go, to be a translator. And it's meant to be this really prestigious position. But then over time, you realize that there's a lot happening in this tower, and there's essentially a monopoly over this thing called silver magic. And it's really interesting. And the conversation, as I said earlier, is really important about colonization and what countries do and take from other countries, and how the ramifications of that through the world, and how people can be very short-sighted and not look beyond their own needs. And I think it's a really interesting discussion. And like I said, I really like the world that she built. I really enjoy how words have power and words have magic, because it's true that they do in real life. Words carry a lot of weight with them and can be very hurtful and harmful, or helpful. Like there's such a gambit of what spoken word can do. It's a big thing in religion. It's always been there. And I think the idea of them having this magic behind them is fascinating. So the story itself is really great. I think the characters are phenomenal. I just think it's a little longer than it needs to be. I think that there is a portion kind of building up to the climactic moment that was longer than was required, but I really enjoyed the ending of the book. Actually, I thought it was very well done and very eloquent, and the point, I don't want to give anything away, so I'm not going to say it, but it was just, it's a really, really well written book. I just think it was too much of the book, but that's absolutely a me thing. And I still am very cognizant of what I said earlier, and just my mood as a reader right now may not have been this book, but I'm so glad to have finally read it. And I get the discussion behind this book, and I think if you haven't, Jess Owens, who, like I said, is the one who I originally saw just raving about this book, she has some really great things to say about it, and I think that she is definitely worth checking out because she does a little bit more of the deep diving into this book that I really appreciated as a viewer. So yeah, I did it, got through it, started this book yesterday morning, and I can put it to rest, put it on the finished reading on the story graph, and definitely good. I have heard of Rebecca F. Kuang. I've heard of her what is it, the trilogy, the Poppy War trilogy, and I had heard of it previously. I might consider picking that up. If you have read this and you've read that trilogy, are there similarities or are they totally different? Is it better, worse? What are your thoughts on her as an author? I'd be very curious. But I hope you all had lovely days. Thank you so much for watching this. It's probably a bit all over the place. I'm still obviously very new to this and getting comfortable with what I should be putting and saying and doing, and hopefully over time I get a little better and I'm able to speak what I'm thinking more clearly. But for now, it is time for me to say goodbye because I can't really show you too much. If you see over here, my Toronto Maple Leafs are playing the last game of the season today, and the game means nothing. And I can't imagine it's going to be anything more than an exhibition game, but I'm still going to watch. So I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.